The godfather of the West Coast, now you know. With Dusty Vision on the side, we ride. Taking you back to where legends came alive. From ruthless roots to the studio scene. Classic tales that the world's never seen. Every Tuesday night we spark the heat. From 6 to 7, history on repeat. So sit back, tap in, and enjoy the vibe. If you love hip-hop, like and subscribe.
What up, folks? This is Lonzo, the godfather of West Coast hip hop, and we are live. Like they said, we are L-I-V-E. That's right, my main man, Dusty Vision in the house. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything in between, folks. You're live with us right here on whatever channel you're watching on. What up, Dusty?
Man, can't complain. Lonzo, how you doing, man?
I'm doing real cool, Doc. I can't complain about nothing, doing what I do.
Yeah.
Enjoying the ride.
That's right. What keeps you going, man? I'm curious. At your age, I know a lot of people your age, they don't move around a lot. They pretty much given up on their dreams. It seems like you still have dreams. It seems like you still have focus. It seems like you still have a vision. What keeps you going, man?
That's a good question. The fact that I still feel that my legacy is not complete. My legacy is not well known to the level that I feel it should be well known. It's one of those things that me and my boy talked about this just the other day. When it's time for me to check up out of here, everybody gonna tell you how great I am. Oh, he was this, he did this for me, he did that for me, he did yeah. All them roses and flowers and good accolades don't mean nothing to a dead man. I do what I do. So while I'm here, I'm gonna get me some accolades. When I'm gone, they're gonna be bigger and better. So I know that sounds crazy, but man, this is how I've always been in my life. That's how you got Eve After Dark. This is how you got a young DJ at Alpine Village. This is how you got Crew Cut Records. God put a drive in me, man, that I don't know where it came from. It's just something I have. My grandson has it. That's why he's on doing great up at Boise State. He has it. My daughter has it. My sister has it. It's just something about some folks in my family, man. It just, my dad established that in us, and it just gives us the drive to keep on going. I bore very easy. So I got to find something to do. I can't play golf or watch TV all day. I go nuts.
I don't, and nothing against people who can do this, but I can't sit down and, sometime even a 2-hour movie, I got to watch it in two days. It takes me a couple segments to watch it. Sometimes I'm just like, man, let me go record. Let me go do this. It's that little bit of ADD, maybe OCD in me too.
A little bit of both. Those initials apply very well. OCD, ADD, I got all that. So when I had a cold over Thanksgiving Day. And I watched TV from like 4 o'clock in the morning till about 5 o'clock in the evening. I ate, and I was just miserable, man, because I wanted to do something. But your eyes watering, you sneeze, nobody want to be around. You don't want to be around nobody. But it just drove me crazy to be contained like that. So I thank God for the energy and the focus and the ability to have OCD and ADD and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, because this is you at 68. I could imagine a 23-year-old Lonzo just bouncing around the city, going from Hollywood to goddamn Burbank to Glendale to Lakewood to, you know what I mean?
I would very seldom be at the pad, man. When I was doing the Crew Cut record thing, I had to make all the runs. From Eve After Dark, I did the posters, the flyers, make sure we had nails. And, at nighttime, I might chill out after a while, my girl come by, something like that. But then I started doing the record. I had to go get the tape and the supplies for the studio and, always checking out new stuff, going to Macola, picking up records, dropping off records. So that's always been my schedule. So I learned to accept it and appreciate the practice.
Love it, homie. Love it. Hey, I was listening to one of your interviews recently. Wish I can give him a shout out. I can't remember off top. It was about 7 months ago. I'll go back while you're talking and give him a shout out properly. But you mentioned you have 4 or 5 underground labels at a time. I think your exact quote was, you created your own competition with yourself so no one could compete with you. Yeah. Can you talk to us about that time in your life? I don't know if we've talked about that very much on this. We talk about so much stuff, we probably have, but talk to me.
My first underground label was Z-Rock. We did a mixed record, and later people started wanting to do the same thing. What happened was you didn't want to kill your record. You didn't want to kill your hot record, so you would put that record out with some other records that was just as hot or getting hot, and so you had to grab them before somebody else grabbed them. So I just cut up mixed tricks and some other stuff just to knock off create my own competition to knock off the competition. Basically, what they do right now, Burger King and a lot of these burger places, all about the same people. So no matter where you buy, no matter what you buy, and you buying from somebody, you buying from them anyway. It's the same pants, different pockets. That's all. Same pants, different pockets. That's what I did. I had the same pants, different pocket situation. Z-Rock, cut up, mixed tricks. I forgot the other label, but yeah, I had about 3 or 4 labels at one time, and then I would just, like I said, I'd have multiple labels over here, multiple labels over there, and because the records were coming out so fast, and I was getting them from the record pool. I was able to infuse records that had not quite hit yet that I felt might be hit records.
You've dealt with both because World Class Wreckin' Crew went that fine line of what, you couldn't call it a certain type of music, R&B, hip hop, funk, whatever, but you dealt with both. How is the R&B music business different or similar to the hip hop music business?
R&B has the music business is the same. The sound of the music has a big difference. R&B has a lot more soulful. It addresses a different clientele. It has a pretty much more mature clientele. Hip hop is more fun. Not saying people who indulge in hip hop are not mature. Just a lot of the subject matter may be more street orientated in some cases. Not all, some cases, maybe street orientated. And you'll never hear a singer like Luther Vandross competing with Freddie Jackson. You don't do that, So where hip hop, you have a rivalry between one MC against another, or talk. You never heard of no hip hop art, no rap, no R&B artists dissing no other rap, no other R&B artists. They don't do that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit a higher level of consciousness, and not saying this low level on hip hop, but it's more street level. And R&B is not really that street. There are some street R&B, but like Jaheim is kind of street. He's kind of a street R&B cat. Okay, he talks about street issues, but he's still on a different level.
Yeah. All right. Excuse me. A hypothetical world. If before gangster rap came along, we talked about house party generation, having fun, polka dot shirts and crazy hairdos, dancing, doing crazy all dances and stuff. And then it moved into gangster rap. Hypothetical world. If gangster rap never came and took over the industry like it did, do you think hip hop would have lasted?
Yeah, by all means. New Jack was a motherfucker. New Jack was the shit. New Jack was a hyped up, dance orientated, party orientated, hard shoe, suit wearing suit era that was doing very well, and then gangster rap just kind of choked it. And I do believe there was so many different artists. Teddy Riley had created a whole genre. You figure with Teddy Riley, Heavy D and the Boys, Kool Mo D, Guy, damn, it was a bunch of acts that was doing New Jack, and New Jack was hitting very well. It was Bobby Brown even down with the New Jack for a while. So New Jack was a kind of a hip hop street flavor to it, and that was, for whatever reason, gangster rap came out and choked it out.
Let's take yourself back to that day, not that day, but that time. Let's go 1990, just before gangster rap really came in and crushed the game and took over. 91, 92. What was going on in the world or the country or the inner cities that you think made everyone take that big adjustment? Because that is a very, very big adjustment. The bright cross colors and the bright yellow this and that and jumping around dancing to the Now I'm a gangster. I'm bopping. Now I'm just in the corner chilling. Yeah, motherfucker. What was going on in the world? Do you think that made that transition happen so drastically?
Dope. The dope era, man. When right around the same time, everybody was. I mean, when you've been in the club business or entertainment business as long as I have, you've seen every trend from the '60s. At Eve After Dark, we had so many trends. We had the b-boy trend. We had the ska trend, SKA, which is almost like a gothic thing. And you had the Michael Jackson Prince era. You had the Rick James era. You had the funk era. You had the the post Soul Train era, or the Soul Train era. Then you got all of a sudden, and all those eras pretty much gelled together. But the one era that did not gel together was the gangster rap. Because gangster rap was like killer bees, man. They ain't taking no other bees in the building. And like I said before, I'm gonna say it again. I first opened Eve After Dark in 1979. Uh, there was always gangsters, but the ratio of gangsters to civilians, you had about 5 to 10% gangsters, and everybody else was 95 to 90% civilians. And as gangster rap became more popular, the gangster lifestyle became more popular, that whole imbalance shifted, and everybody it got to the point it might have been 90% gangsters and 5% civilians, and it made people be something who they really weren't. Now, going back to what I said earlier, most of these trends gave people an outlet. Most of the kids wasn't like that. They just tried something because it was fashionable. But unlike any other trend, gangster rap came with home training, and it came with some street experiences that made it more solidified. What no? If you wasn't in the sky, it wasn't everywhere. Sky was not everywhere. Mary Jane, the Prince thing wasn't everywhere. You know, you came to Even to Dark, you wore your little Prince outfit, you did your little dance. Mary Jane, you had your some girls who wear camisoles. They leave the car in their nice little dresses and nice little shoes, go in the bathroom, come out in the camisole. No shit. Just happened like it was nobody's business. So when you see this, but when you see this, and you know it's just a phase, a fad. But gangster rap was not a fad. It became a whole genre, not only in the clubs, but it became same thing. Became a genre in the community where people, you know, that it was everywhere. It wasn't just in the club. It was at the schools. It was in the grocery store. It was a lifestyle, and people started having to feel they had to live a certain way just to survive, and that became the attitude. Everybody got mad. I'm gonna tell you something. You want to see something crazy? I'm
Yep.
I'm a member of my book is on Audible, right? Now with Lonzo is on Audible, right? I'm the only motherfucker got a book smiling. Everybody else mad as shit. Everybody else trying to play that role, man. I'm the only one with a book from hip hop that's smiling. I thought that was the craziest shit in the world, but it's true. Look, scroll through Audible. You're not gonna find guys, especially, doing a lot of smiling. Smiling became a sign of weakness, man. Being cool became a sign of weakness, and that's how you got what you got. Everybody wanted to be hard.
Yep. Now, I recently watched a good biopic on Lisa Lisa, very popular artist from the early 80s. Finest. But I want you to talk to us about what you know about a music genre that had a short shelf life, but today it's more popular than ever amongst people who grew up in that area specifically. But what can you tell us about freestyle music?
Oh man, that was our era, man. That was our era. Um, Lisa, Club Jam, damn,
GVB, Sweet
uh,
Sensation,
all
Expose.
that, all that. We toured with all of them. We toured with all of them,
Oh,
and
really? Okay.
yeah. That was after we first started touring. Well, first we started touring with a bunch of R&B acts, and then as our records got more and more popular in the Latino community, freestyle was a big. It's still big in the Latino community. it was a fad for us, but when it got to the Latinos, they loved it. They still love it today. When it was because it was so energetic, man. It was almost it wasn't disco, but it had the disco feel. It was a real free. It had a free feel to it. Maybe that's why they call it freestyle. I don't know. It had a real free style to it, and it felt good. It was always something up tempo, and we started dancing, and love brought us into a groove. Ba-da-ba-ba. Oh man, that was the shit. Then you had Madonna was doing shit like that. It just was a it was the club music of the 80s. That's how I can describe it. It was the club music of the 80s. And Wreckin' Crew fell right in there.
An artist like a Madonna, big at the time, big pop artist, does she have people going around from club to club or listening to the radio or trying to stay on top of the trends of the music and feed it to her? I'm asking because I interviewed Michael Boogaloo Shrimp Chambers, aka Turbo from Breaking, and he mentioned that back in the day that there's video of Madonna going to whatever radio, the club Radiotron, to kind of pick up the dance moves and to check out this new thing called hip hop. Was there someone out there, at record labels going around trying to stay on top of the trends for the pop artists and give them that type of sound and get that next single?
I don't know about that part. I know that they monitored the DJs wherever they were. They monitored DJs. Radio stations primarily monitor street DJs. That's how you got record pools. Because club DJs, street DJs didn't have the restrictions of a program director. So you can give a guy like me a record. I can give it a spin earlier, see whose feet are moving, see whose heads are bobbing, and maybe later on I'll try to mix it in. And sometimes cats, you had a big enough crowd and the energy was high enough, you could mix it in anyway. And if people stayed on the floor, that was an indication you may have something. So it was very possible that these records, and now they always kind of stole each other's records for damn sure. Okay, you may go to a Chrysalis or one of those other not T-Neck, but the KC and the Sunshine label, T something out of Florida. They would always borrow different sounds from each other. So it was always a little, I guess you could say, a little bit of industrial espionage. Oh yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
Okay. Random question. What do you know, or what can you tell us about those ads in the magazine where back in the day you can get like 15 tapes for a penny? I think it was Columbia House or something like that. What was the trick behind that, and how did they make that happen? Talk to us. Was it obviously it was probably a scam? I don't know, but tell us about the behind the scenes if you know anything about the people who put their tapes on that. They would send you a list of all the tapes you could buy.
You were buying like a subscription almost. Okay, you get like 15 tapes for a penny, but primarily what you were getting were promos. When you buy a promo piece of product, whether it was a record, if it was a record, it would be a hole punched in the corner of the jacket. If you ever see a record with if you ever see a record and the hole is punched in the corner of the jacket, or you see a cassette with a little, the guy took a buzz saw, just put a little line right down around the case. Those are all promos. Those are the records that when you have a record contract, the record companies can give away 10% of your sales for free. And that was another way to make money on the side, because the deal is you buy these records for a penny, but you're tied into a subscription. But they didn't have any way to collect the money. But honest people would just keep on buying them. It might cost you $15 a month, or whatever. Well, not even that much at that time. Maybe $5 a month. But you're getting promos. You're getting records that they're going to give away anyway. So that was just a good way to promote the product and get the product out to the general public.
Okay. So was a scam at the end of the day to make you buy other shit, basically, or to get a subscription type thing?
Yeah, it was
Oh, it's a
when
month.
you when you
Okay.
when you bought it, it was you were buying a subscription. Like right now, free for 7 days to put your credit card in there, and you're supposed to forget on the eighth day. You got charged. On the eighth day, you're about to get charged. Okay. Anything that
Okay.
has a anything that has a free for 10 days, 14 days, and they want you to put your credit card in, you're going to get charged on that the next day after. Immediately. Immediately.
Let's talk some Lonzo stories. And I want to talk about your book as well later. And if you guys have any questions for the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop, post them. And tonight we're going to discuss some of the stories that were left out of Alonzo's book. But before we do that, Lonzo, I want to ask you about Sir Mix-a-Lot was on the channel a few years back, and I was re-listening to the interview, and he mentioned Fresh Fest Europe. Can you tell us about that trip, Fresh Fest Europe?
Fresh Fest Europe, man. That was like 87, I believe it was. We were signed to CBS still. And it was us, Mix-a-Lot, Africa Bombada, Soul Sonic Force. Soul Sonic Force and Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5. We were the only, Mix-a-Lot and us were the only West Coast acts. And we were the big dogs on the West Coast at that time. We flew from LA to New York, stayed in New York overnight, flew to England the next day. We got to England, it was the evening time, about 9:30 or 10. Everything was closed. The only thing was open was a KFC that was just about to close. They was wiping down the counters, had the mops out, and we begged them. They realized who we were. They let us eat, man. And when they sold us some food, that was the blandest shit known to man. They don't believe it. No, they left out all the herbs and spices. Colonel Sanders had 11 herbs and spices. They ain't hit not one of them. They didn't use none of that shit. But that's all we could eat, so we enjoyed it. We played Wembley Stadium, man. We played Wembley Stadium, the big stadium. Yes, sir. We played Wembley Stadium, and it was a huge crowd. When we got there, man, we got there a couple of days ahead of the show. So we were able to spend some time in the city. And first thing I realized, a lot of the girls had green teeth. A lot of the girls had green teeth. Why your shit got that green tint on it? We don't, I'm I don't know about nobody. I'm into dental care shit, okay? I don't like no discoloration, okay? It may not be that bright. You ain't got to have no bright white, turn off the lights like our teeth, but they damn sure can't be green or blue, okay? That's some questionable stuff. Anyway, we stayed in a hotel. I'll never forget, called the Spider's Web. It was just outside of London, and we had just outside of London, and we had to catch the double decker bus to get to go around London, and all the cars was on the wrong side of the street. I almost got ran over twice. I almost got hit twice. I was crossing the street and looking the wrong direction. The show was phenomenal, man. The show was phenomenal. We blew out all our equipment. We blew out all of our equipment. They told us do not plug it in and let our guys plug it in because they had to get some converters. They have a different currency rate over there. And the other fucked around there and plugged that shit in, and man, that shit got to smoking and we had to play for my backup tape. That was one thing I always did because we played World Class Wreckin Crew. We were the first group to ever go out with a whole MIDI system. We had a whole Oberheim system, keyboards. We looked like a band. In the corner, we had a DJ in the back. On the other side, yellows with the drum machines and the sequencers. And depending on who was doing what song, there would be three of us in the front, one of us in the back. Once the drum machines were going, Yella or Dre may go over to the turntables and scratch. And I was always up front with either Shakespeare and Dre or either Shakespeare and Dre or me and Shakespeare. And man, it just that night that was the biggest crowd we ever played for, and the feel and the energy was phenomenal. And like I said, once Yellow blew up the system, we had to play it to our backup DAT. I kept the whole show was always on a backup DAT, and we performed, knocked that shit out. Mix-a-Lot later told me, man, he was envious of us. I'm like, boy, I'll trade with your ass right now, though. That's for damn sure. But it was a great show, man, and they treated us like kings, literally, dude. We got mobbed everywhere we went. We got mobbed. It felt like being the Beatles over here, dude. We literally got mobbed. Yep.
Sir Mix-a-Lot said he was intimidated to go up after you guys. He said up until that point, he used to lip sync. After seeing you guys perform, he said he never lip synced again.
I would never let my guys lip sync. Never. No, we don't lip sync. We don't do. We barely did. We had to do a track date that day, but I did not. I always wanted to have the opportunity, if it called for it, to do an encore. And by having them have live drum machines, we had a encore program in the drum machine. If time permitted, we could go back and just like the church do, and do a breakdown, go off the stage, and come back. We can do all that. Can't do that if you're doing lip syncing. And we had to rehearse. We had a choreography, the whole 9 yards. We were very competitive. I took performing. I still do very competitive. I'm a competitive performer. I'm not going to stand on stage and hold my nuts for 20 minutes. Not going to do it. All right, I'm going to leave that stuff because I'm tired. I'm going to give you your money's worth. Because when I go to a concert, I want my money's worth. I don't want nobody to give me a musical lecture holding their nuts, talking about how bad
with
they are.
7 homies on the side talking about, yeah, motherfucker, let's fucking go, nigga, yeah. Like everybody got to
get off my stage. Don't stand on my stage, man. Oh, no. Don't stand on my stage. They pay to see me, not you. I'm an asshole to come to that part right there. I don't. If I look behind, if I look on the side, you there on the side, I ain't tripping. Don't be behind me because I'm not paying you to be up here with me. I'm not paying you to hold a cup jammed in my shit. We're not doing that, man. So yeah, that we very 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 seldom had that problem. I think we had it one time we played downtown at MacArthur Park a couple of years ago, and we had a stage full of people. I hated that. So yeah, but that show right there, man, was one for the memory banks for sure.
Sounds like a good time. We're almost halfway through the show, so I'm going to ask everybody to hit that like button. If you have not already, go to hit that like button. It really helps out the show. Lets YouTube know that we exist. It helps us get in the algorithm, all that good stuff. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear and you want more of it, you want more West Coast raw hip hop, you are tuned into the right spot. N.W.A. Stories with Lonzo. That is Alonzo Williams, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. I am Dusty Vision. And tonight, after this show, please join me on my channel. I'll put the link in the description. I got a great show for you guys. We are going to be talking Tupac's beef with Ice Cube. We'll be discussing Tupac taking on the gangster disciples of Wyoming? Oh, Milwaukee. It was Milwaukee. And we're also going to be talking about the time he was jumped in San Francisco by JT, the Bigger Figures goons. So please join me at 7 p.m. And we got a great conversation over there as well after this show. Lonzo, I want to talk a little bit about your book. And before that, I want to let everybody know that I am copying and pasting all your questions, and we will get to those before the end of the show. But Lonzo, your book, I re-listened to it the other day, and I know in the past we've mentioned that there were some stories that were left out because obviously if you told your whole life story, it'd be a 8,000-page book. And I think you said you're only limited to 300 pages?
312. It was 312 at that time.
Okay. All right. So tonight I want to talk about a few stories that were left out of your book, Lonzo. What was, a story that you were like, oh, I really want to put this in, but I got this limit. Talk to us.
I think the one with me and the doing the when I performed with EU in DC, that didn't make the book.
EU. Talk to us.
Doing the butt. Da, 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 da.
Oh shit. Oh, okay.
EU in 1986 or 87. those two Turn Off the Lights and Doing the Butt were neck and neck. They were flip flopping 1 and 2 around the country. They were two hottest records in the country. And EU, they reached out for us to play at their homecoming in DC. Their go-go band. DC's a big go-go town. So of course, we I thought that was great, man. They gave us a personal invitation. They reached out for us. Hey, man, y'all record is doing great. Come on out and be a part of our homecoming event. But we had a small problem. We had a show in Virginia the same night. DC and Virginia is like LA and Pomona. It's not that far apart, only like an hour away. But when you got a big concert, you know how it is trying to get out of the Forum. It might take you an hour to get out of the concert just to leave the doggone the arena. So my manager, Swamp Dog, arranged for us to get a helicopter. The helicopter was going to take us from the arena to the airport, just like going from the Forum to LAX to avoid the traffic. And then we're going to hop on a small plane and fly to Virginia. No problem. Well, in setting up this right here, this is one of my first times doing Turn Off the Lights live. And everybody was like, man, you ought to do your part, man. You got to take off your pants. You got to take off your pants and shake your nuts. And I'm like, man, I'm not doing no shit like that. But my publicist at the time, she's a little cutie pie. She taught me to do it. And she said, well, let's put on the G string and nut down. Just put on the G string. So I put on the G string, and I had no intention on doing it, but I always get a shot of tequila before I go on stage. That's always calm my nerves down. Man, we opened up to about 15, 20,000 people, dude. We hit the stage, and they heard Turn Off the Light, boom, 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 man. They were crazy. Dude, my head was man, that tequila said, go for it, nigga, go for it. Came around to my part. I stood in the front of the stage, stepped up to Mona, and Mona didn't know nothing about the plan. I dropped my pants. Mona's eyes got big as apples. The crowd went crazy. Oh, this motherfucker's nuts. And then I picked up my pants, did my shit, and my boy Bob Dog, rest his soul, Bob Dog, I had a fur coat. Bob Dog walked out on stage, threw the fur coat over my shoulders like James Brown, and escorted me off the stage like James Brown, man. And because we was such tight squeeze for time, the limousine was in the stadium waiting on me by the stage. So I walked off the stage, walked straight to the limousine, popped out the sunroof. I'm waving and shit. There are people going crazy. Go outside to a helicopter in the parking lot. Jerry Curl is luxurious. My shit is flowing like oh man. I could have been in a shampoo commercial. My shit was flowing like a motherfucker, right? Go to the helicopter. They already took my boys, a couple of guys to the airport already. I'm signing the autograph and shit. Me and Mona was the last ones. And Bob Dog. Hop on the helicopter. We waving and shit. Got the little headphones on. Go to the airport. These motherfuckers got us on something like a goddamn crop duster. We got propellers and shit, okay? I ain't seen propellers since Sky King, okay? We got propellers, and I thought this motherfucker might have dropped off a mail run or some dust of the crop on the way down to Virginia. We get to Virginia, and the act, it was Heavy D, LL, or somebody else. They had already been on stage. They've been off the stage now for like 45 minutes. We just not getting there. Folks are standing. This is about 7,000, 8,000 people here. They standing around waiting on us to show up. And the promoter is playing with the money. So I ain't no hurry to go on stage. I'm not in a hurry. When my money is straight, we'll go on stage. So after about another 30 minutes, Boss Hogg gave me the thumbs up. We go hit the stage. When we hit the stage in Virginia, the energy was not the same. These motherfuckers been standing around for a minute, and we doing juice and surgery, and they not checking for this right here today. They nigga, where? No, we don't want to do this right here. So, man, for the first time in my life, I'm not being received well, and motherfuckers is throwing shit. Motherfuckers is throwing like pennies and ice and shit, and I'm dancing and ducking. Shit. So I said, fuck it. Go turn off the lights. We go to turn off the lights. And the shit, boom, the shit. That first kick, boom,
Doom, doom.
boom, boom, boom. Man,
Yeah.
that motherfucker hit. And everybody started screaming. But there was a few motherfuckers in the front row that wasn't quite feeling it. Okay? They still having fun throwing shit. Okay? And I'm like, motherfucker, all right. So we finally get to turn off the lights. I drop my pants. All the girls go crazy. Guys still playing their game. They still throwing shit, right? Pull up my pants. It was okay. We got through the set. I'm walking off the stage. And all of a sudden, I get this sharp pain in my thigh. What the fuck? What is this? I get this sharp pain in my thigh, dude. I'm like, what is going on? I'm walking and damn. My manager, Boss Hog, my manager said, man, what's going on? I said, man, I don't know. I got this sharp pain in my thigh. It's kicking my ass, boss. So I go into the dressing room, pull down my pants. I don't see nothing. Pull my pants back up. I start walking. God damn! What man? I have to go to the ER or something, man. What they call that shit? Emergency, whatever you call that shit. The doctor, because I'm getting this pain is kicking my ass. I go back in the bathroom. I lift up my nutsack, and it's a big ass wad of Hubba Bubba gum, hairy ass Hubba Bubba gum between my thigh and my nuts. And every time I'm walking, this motherfucker is giving me a Brazilian wax. Every time I'm stepping, man, this motherfucker was about yay big and fuzzy in the motherfucker. I had to cut the gum off my nuts. And that's one of the reasons why I am such a level-headed brother, because in DC, I was king of the world. In Virginia, I'm just a nigga from Compton with gum on his nuts. True story.
You wasn't shit.
I wasn't shit again.
Oh, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. All right, before we jump into another story that didn't make it into the book, let's get to a question from the audience. Art Chavez says, Lonzo, what kind of music were pop lockers b-boying to before hip-hop? Any specific break beats? Were any of these at your dances that you were spinning in the 70s?
Pop lockers hit, man. To my knowledge, pop lockers was hitting around the mid 80s. In fact, one of my favorite pop lockers is on the feed right now. My boy AK out of Vegas. AK came around.
King of Pop.
Yes, sir. He came around 81, 82. So that's right around then, man. We still talking about Pop What You Got or Pop What You was that who was that? Pop What You Got.
The Granny and the No, keep going.
Was that damn? I think they played with us last week. Damn.
Soul Train, Al Hudson. Hudson. There you go.
The other ones. Come on, somebody, y'all help me out.
Yeah, somebody in our chat will get One Way.
One Way. Thank you. It was One Way. That's the kind of shit we was jamming back then. We was jamming shit like One Way. By the time the shit pop locking got really, really hot, that was the shit. That was the ultimate.
So you said the 80s? What? So when was Rerun? That was considered pop locking, right? But that was the 70s, wasn't it?
That was locking. That was locking.
Oh,
that's different.
Oh, talk to me. Okay.
That's locking. Okay, that's locking. I did not get formally introduced to pop locking till Eve After Dark, because I was familiar with locking. That's what Rerun was doing. Now you do that to anything. You do that to any some of that shit. Billy Preston, when he was a favorite, his Space something, he was a favorite of lockers. Okay, that's when you jumping up and down and you flopping your hands around and you hitting the ground and you doing all that stuff. That was something from the 70s that we experienced in the early days of our dances. Lockers were still coming around. The pop lockers came a little bit later. If I'm wrong, AK, correct me, because I remember I was too busy collecting the money. I wasn't watching everybody dance moves, but the actual pop locker, if I'm gonna call it brother right now. Hey, AK, answer your phone.
Yeah, make sure you put it on so we can all hear it. Make sure you put it on so we can all hear it. Yeah,
right.
that's what I love about the show. Hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. If you're feeling generous, throw a few bucks. There's a little cash thing right there. Click on that. Throw a few
Let
bucks.
me see.
Be very, very appreciated. Lonzo's going to see if he can reach out to AK King, the real king of pop. We're going to talk about pop locking history, baby. AK, if you're listening, try to
He
answer
can
your
tell you
phone, my
much better
man.
than I could.
Well, I love this program. But what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Shout out to Marlon Cozy, always in the building. Make sure you guys join me at 7 p.m. Right after this. Electric Boogaloo was popping and locking too, right? Says someone. We're going to get to the bottom of it right now.
Where you at, AK? I saw you on the line just a minute ago. Answer the doggone phone.
Don
Your
Campbell.
call has been forwarded to voicemail.
He didn't-
The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
AK, call me back if you get this message before we wrap up at 7 o'clock. But yeah, when it came to it was locking first. Locking was popular when I was in high school. I was a locker. I tried to be a locker. That's the shit you saw on Soul Train at the beginning. I think pop locking came out in the early 80s, maybe late 70s. That timeline I can't speak for, but I know that's when I first saw it at Eve After Dark. They was calling it pop locking. I'm like, no, that's locking. No, something different. And that's when I saw them do a whole new move.
How important was Soul Train to a young Lonzo?
Shit, couldn't live without it, baby. Shit, it was
Okay,
like water.
break it down.
It was the air I breathed. Man, look, my daddy had me cutting lawns on Saturday. Every Saturday, I was the lawn boy, but I would stop, okay, and go find me somebody's window. We had a certain line, but every Saturday we had certain people's yards. We would probably be right around Soul Train time, and my man would go find something flower bed to do, and I'd go find me a window to peek in or something. Soul Train was the shit. It was a must see. If you didn't see Soul Train on Saturday, you was a buster, because back then we didn't have no VCRs. If you missed it today, you didn't see it again the next year. What? No rewind. Okay, if you missed Soul Train today, you didn't see it again to the next year or the next season. So it was very important for our dance moves. It was very important for our fashion. You know, we had crushes on Soul Train, man. They had a little cute girl on Soul Train with the bobber little head. Man, I wanted to meet her so bad as a damn shit. I did eventually meet her. The lady with the long hair. Her name Cheryl Strong or Song. I met her about 2 weeks ago. In fact, a lot of the Soul Train dancers, right to this day, doing the summertime, doing the event not far from my house. I know all of them now. But yeah, Soul Train was a must-see every Saturday afternoon for any cool black teenager in the Los Angeles area.
Okay. So that would they announce who was going to be on the show? Because they always had a performance, you know. Would they announce who was going to be on the show, or did you just tune in to see who was going to be on the show?
You didn't know until the announcement out today on Soul Train, the Dramatics, Marvin Gaye, so and so and so and so, and here's the host, Don Cornelius. And then Don would come back and reiterate who's coming on the show. Yes, you never knew until that day.
All right, good question. And hopefully the King of Pop gets back to us. If not, maybe we can get him on next week to talk about it. Someone wants to know, Lonzo, what are your thoughts on Daz and Snoop fighting over publishing?
You know, man, all that homie love don't mean shit when it comes down to money.
And their family, actually, they're legit first cousins.
They're cousins. If you are in a position to take care of your family, why not do it? Especially somebody like Snoop. We got plenty of money. If the man has recorded songs, he got publishing and writers coming, pay the man. I don't know the full story. I'm just speaking from generalities right now. Okay? If you're in a position to take care of your folks, there's no reason in the world they should be doing this right here. I don't see it. Maybe he signed a bad contract when he was with Death Row, but you assume Death Row, and I would think that it would be behooving to your image. Take care of your folks, man. Do you have any details on the situation?
I don't. All I know is, obviously Snoop is the new owner of Death Row, and wow, gosh, what was it? It's something to do with the dog pound symbol. Daz wanted to. Daz created it in his garage, and Snoop wrote it just recently, and I guess that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, that's kind of on Daz too, though. But you know, you've been rocking this for God knows how long. And all of a sudden, your so-called homie cousin take it from you. Now, here's something I did. I copywrote the name Uncle Jam's Army.
Wait, what?
It did. I got I didn't copyright it. I got the domain. I was searching for domains on GoDaddy, and I grabbed World Class Wreckin Crew Cut Records, and I just fucking around and typed in Uncle Jam's Army, and nobody had it. So I claimed it. I went on paid for it. But what I didn't do, I didn't keep it. I just grabbed it to make sure that somebody had it that understood the value of it. So when my partner from Uncle Jam's Army wanted to buy it, I said, man, just give me what I paid for it. That's all. I wasn't trying to do it to make no money off of it. I probably could. This is my dude. That's what I'm saying. This is my dude. Somebody on that camp was slipping. Gid don't care. Some people, they don't even think it. Some people, Uncle Jam's Army is in their past. I would hate to see somebody get it and try to hold it over their head for a bunch of money, because that's what a lot of cats do. They will stick a claim on a domain name and run the price up because they know you want it, and trying to charge $15,000, $20,000 for something that you could have got for $50. And I grabbed it. Like I said, I grabbed it, and when they was looking for it, and they found out, oh man, somebody grabbed it. Yeah, it was me. What? Oh yeah, you want it? I just grabbed it because nobody else wanted it. Nobody else had it. That was my intention. It was not to try to rip anybody off. But some people, like I said before, that is their whole motivation, is to rip people off.
All right, let's jump into another story, Lonzo. What's another story that wasn't able to make it into your book because you only had a certain amount of pages?
Another airplane story.
Okay.
We were doing 2 gigs in one night. I had a thing about I wanted to make X amount of bucks per weekend, and my manager Swamp Dog, he was trying to make it happen, and he booked us a gig in Texas, one in Louisiana, and it was right next to each other. But again, we had to hop on a plane. So he rented a plane, and it was a 12-passenger plane, and there was 9 people flying, but nobody told him about the equipment that we carried. Planes are very weight sensitive. So we get to the airport, unload the van. There's all this equipment, about 1,000 pounds worth of equipment. Homeboy said, I got room for y'all. I don't have room for this. Big old fat pilot. I said, huh? I said, we can't go without this. We might as well stay here. And he said, well, let me see what I can do. So he told everybody to have a seat. He took all the equipment. Me and him and my cousin took all the equipment and just put it in the middle row of the airplane between the seats. Another crop duster. His fat ass, he must have weighed about 400 pounds. Big old boss hog looking son of a bitch. His fat ass, they had to literally roll him over the equipment. Okay? He gets in the pilot seat. Well, guess who's in the goddamn co-pilot seat? Yours truly, who's afraid of heights. I'm in the co-pilot seat. Now, I don't want to be here. Nobody wants to be here. But we got to do this. Man, we take off in the air. And after about 10 to 15 minutes, I wasn't as scared. Me and the pilot started having a conversation. I said, hey, man, look at, I don't mean to be offensive, but you're a pretty big dude. What can I do in the event that you have a heart attack or something? I mean, what should I do? He said, don't worry about it. All you gotta do is stand up, bend your head, kiss your ass goodbye. Okay. Then a goddamn thing you can do up in the air. So we laughing and joking, right? He says, "You seem like a pretty funny guy." I said, "Yeah, what about it?" He said, "Want to have some fun?" I said, "Sure." He said, "I'm gonna take a little nap." No bullshit. I'm gonna take a little nap. I'm gonna put the plane on automatic pilot. Just put your hands on the controls. Don't move it. It's gonna move by itself. So I'm in the co-pilot seat. The pilot turns around and says, "Hey man, look here. I'm gonna take a little nap. I'm gonna let Lonzo bring us in." Them motherfuckers had a fit. "Oh no, please! This nigga can't drive a car." Yeah, y'all be cool, man. It was chaos in fucking mid-air. They started crying. Yes, them fucking gangsters started crying. "Don't let him do it. He can't drive a car. Yeah, no, stop playing, stop playing." They started writing last will and testaments, knowing goddamn well if this shit go down, them fucking planes, this shit's gonna burn the fuck up too. He had to stop this. Homeboy had to. He had this. "Hey man, I'm this bullshit. I'm just playing. I'm on automatic pilot." Y'all stupid. That fucking gangsters was crying like bitches. Okay, it was funny as shit to me. I'm the only one laughing. Everybody in the plane, Mona, my brother, everybody in the crew was having fits. Boss Hog, he back there, he just shaking up. But man, he just shaking. He don't know what to do. Come time to land the plane, pilot says, so and so airport, prepare for landing, and we going down. So and so airport, prepare for landing. We going down. Bob, turn the goddamn lights on. Lights. Okay, he finally lands the plane right before we land on the ground. The lights come on right before we land this plane. Okay, here's part two. We get off the plane. I don't know who we was playing for, but I know they had some big ass belt buckles. They had big ass belt buckles, tight ass jeans, and they didn't smile at us worth of shit. They was not fucking friendly at all. We in Louisiana. Belt buckle, capital of the world. Cowboy hat, capital of the world. We got the plane. They stood in front of their cars with the lights behind them and shit, and you really couldn't see their faces. We got in the car, and hey man, how was the flight? They just drove us, man. They didn't say shit to us. Took us so far back in the woods, man. All you thought was little eyes as the lights passed by the woods. Oh, dude, it was terrifying. Okay, I just knew that was gonna be it for us. Got to the club we was playing in. This motherfucker wasn't even a chitlin circuit. This might have been pigtail circuit. Didn't have the driveway was gravel. The club didn't have no roof, man. The club didn't have no roof. Y'all think I'm lying. Y'all think I'm lying. The club didn't have no roof, okay? Only part had a roof over it was the stage. You want to know what else the stage had? Goddamn chicken wire in the front of it. Just like in the Blues Brothers movie, they had chicken wire in front of the goddamn stage. Now we was mad at our manager. Where the fuck you book us at? We walked on stage, and the first thing they said was, "Where the guitars at?" Oh shit, this is gonna be a long ass show. Man, we broke into surgery, and them motherfuckers knew every word.
Wow.
Them motherfuckers sang Surgery, Juice, and Lovers.
God damn.
Fuck me up.
I love these niggers.
They sang Surgery, Juice, and Lovers like it was nobody's business. Backstage, they had the biggest spread of barbecue chicken and steaks and shit. Man, we ate like fucking kings for 2 or 3 days off that shit. They loved us, but you couldn't tell by the drivers, and that's a true story.
Great shit, Lonzo. I can't wait until you figure out how to produce artwork in AI, like those stories we comment on, because while you were telling that story, I'm picturing every detail being just played out by some artwork or some animations or something like that. So I think that's going to be your next thing that you jump into. You already got the music down packed. Now you gotta work on that, my dude.
That is.
Hey,
I'm trying to get my AI game up right now.
Good. See, I think that's AK right there. He said, I was at E from late 79 to April 81. Songs were More Bounce from Zap, Give It To Me Baby by Rick James, I Wanna Be Me, okay, I Wanna Be by Cameo, Sexy Dancer and Head, Prince, and Somakosa by Manu Dibango. There you go. Just to name a few, he said. Good looking out. Yeah. Let's plan to have him on in the near future, because I would love to talk some breakdancing and pop locking and all that with him.
He called me back. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I get him online right
there. It is. Let's go.
Greetings, brother.
Hey, what up with you, Doc? How you feeling? Can you hear him, Dusty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic.
What up, AK?
Greetings, brotherhood. Greetings, brother Dusty. Much love to you. I know the timing is off. I just posted a response, I think, to some of the songs that we were dancing to. Is that what you guys asked?
Yeah. We were trying to figure out before they was asking before hip hop, what were they dancing to? What were they pop locking to? And you said it right there.
Well, you see the post?
I see the post. Yes.
Yep. So we More Bounce to the Ounce. I got you. We got More Bounce by Zap, Give It To Me Baby by Rick James, I Just Wanna Be by Cameo, Sexy Dancer and Head by Prince, and So Makosa by Manu Dibango. Did that much better second time around.
Yeah, and keep in mind the pop locking era for Southern California started in 1979, same year Eve opened. And you know what song we really started learning to, Lonzo and Dusty?
What's that?
Ring My Bell.
No shit.
Ring My Bell.
That was a disco song.
Yeah, because we was coming out of that.
Right.
Remember?
Right.
See, because what changed eras was sound.
Okay.
Right? Because in the 70s, we were heavy on instrumental. We were very little on electronics. But when the pop lock era came, George Clinton, who invented the reverse, right? The reverse kick, reverse air, and the hand clap.
Right.
So him, Roger, and those funk characters put that, and that's what gave life to pop locking. That was the sound of that era, and that took us into that thing. So from 79 to 81, Lonzo, that's when I'm there. The 2 years seemed like a lifetime.
It did, man. I thought it was much older than that, man. Damn.
1981, April, I left to go to the Air Force with all your money and all the dance trophies Eve After Dark ever had.
All right, that's the true story. AK, the only brother I ever thought about managing in my life. The only brother I said, you know what? I can see investing in this brother right here, because he got a lot. Brother sing, he dance, the girls like him, and he's a full package. So, and he can act. His brother can act too.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been able to in the Bible, for those that are Bible fans out there, it says in there, a man's gifts make room for him and bring him before great men. I'm proof of it right now. My gifts have made room for me, and right now I'm before great men. So,
my man.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. We're gonna bring you on the show.
We're gonna have to bring you back on, and we get a full recount. Hopefully, we can have you on within the next few weeks or so, like that, because I would like to dive a little bit deeper into your story, AK. I know I've had you on my show before. Lonzo knows you like the back of his hand, but I think our audience would love to know more about you as well.
And you can also check out AK in the Eve After Dark documentary also.
That's right.
Yeah.
He has a nice little section in there. Still doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
You can move.
And for you guys listening to me, you could just type in Anthony A.K. King on your Google, and I'll pop up somewhere. And before I go, I'm gonna tell the whole world, Lonzo has an anthem that he wrote. I don't know if he told y'all.
That's right.
But he got a song called On Your Feet. Oh my God. And man, the gospel version of that right now, boy, had me and my old lady in this place crying like little babies.
All right, I had it loaded up here on my computer. I'm gonna play it next week for sure, though, Doc.
Pull that out, Lonzo. I'm gonna make a note to call you this week and tell you to pull that one out for the next show.
All right, you got it. AK, much love, Doc.
Good looking out, AK. Love you too,
peace.
brother. Be safe, man. Be safe. That's why I love this show, man. Yeah, good stuff, Lonzo. Damn, that hour flew by, man. Thank you to the chat. Once again, if you guys have any, you want to throw us a couple dollars, there's a little dollar sign right there. We appreciate it for the holidays. We love you guys very much for joining us. Man, I'm loving this hip hop history. Any last words before we head out, Lonzo?
Hey, man, like I always say, before you, for those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put.
Hold on, before you do that, sorry to cut you off. Join me on my show. It's right after Lonzo's doing that. We're gonna be talking Tupac all night, baby. Go for it, Lonzo.
For those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre in the surgery, stuck Ice Cube in the freezer till he got cold. On the eve after dark, 50-yard line to Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me as a hater of rap. Don't believe that Hollywood bullshit because it was all cap. My history goes deeper than you will ever know. Just remember that N.W.A. stands for Not Without Alonzo, y'all. Peace.